The views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Union Broadcasting Inc., ESPN 1510, or its employees. The host is solely responsible for the on-air content.
This is KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit digital resource produced by Charitable Communications. We'll tell the stories of Kansas City nonprofits and the people behind them. KC Cares is proudly sponsored by the Ewing Marion Kauffman Foundation. I'm Ruth Bombigas. Bobby's out and about, finding out all the great stuff going on in Kansas City, but I have a lady who can certainly hold her own. We won't have to worry about conversation. And I have Michelle Davis, who is the Kansas City chapter president for the Association of Fundraising Professionals.
That's right. I get to do that job this year and next year.
Yay! Should I say how lucky you are?
Yes.
I guess it's the...
I think what you should say is that we are really lucky to work in fundraising. People oftentimes say, I could never ask anyone for money. And it's not that. You get the opportunity in fundraising to build relationships with people and companies and help them find solutions to a variety of problems in our community. So, it's a great role to be in, and to be able to be a part of the Association of Fundraising Professionals that's focused on making sure that the sector has ethical fundraisers, that ethical fundraising activities are happening, and that we're professionals is a great organization to be a part of and to represent.
All right, well, let's backstep a little bit, because you didn't just all of a sudden appear as the president of the local chapter, which I understand is quite a robust chapter in the country.
Absolutely, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your own path in nonprofit.
Yeah, so I started working in nonprofit. A friend from college told me about a job at the National Kidney Foundation now almost a little over 20 years ago. And so I've worked in nonprofit work almost my entire life. I worked for the National Kidney Foundation for their national headquarters, which used to be in Kansas City. And then I also worked for Nonprofit Connect. And now I've also worked for the Polycystic Kidney Disease Foundation. And now I work for an organization representing people with a rare bone disease.
You're in that disease hub. You had a little break in
there.
That's
my thing. That's where my passion lies, for sure.
So as you made your journey through various nonprofits, and then with Nonprofit Connect, which is kind of the umbrella for nonprofits here in Kansas City, how did the association factor into what you were doing? How did you get involved?
So for me, my first introduction to AFP, which we're known as, you can find us online at afpkc.org. That's our website, or on Twitter or Facebook by that same name, was through a program called Fundraising 101. And it's a 2-day session. This year it will be November 4th and 5th. It's 2 days of workshops where you learn about every kind of fundraising. I did not, coming out of college, have a degree in fundraising. So it was a great opportunity for me to learn everything from direct mail to special events to grant writing to plan giving. You walk away with a great handbook that gives you more guidance. But the best thing about it is that it's taught by people that have worked in the sector in Kansas City. And I think that's one of the important things that I learned, not just in addition to the training that I got at Fundraising 101, but I learned there about networking, and that people that work in this sector are so willing to help one another and to serve as a resource. I can call someone and say, I'm looking for a strategy to help my year-end appeal. And people are willing to share that information and to help us all be better. There are lots of organizations in Kansas City, nonprofit organizations, but there are lots of people who are passionate and who are willing to support multiple organizations. So I don't think there's a fear in our community about, giving away the secret sauce. I think that people are willing to help each other. And that's what AFPKC was created to do, was to help people who care about fundraising, either because they do it as a profession or they do it as a volunteer, get better at doing that job.
Now, the Kansas City chapter has been around since 1973, correct? But the organization is a national organization?
Absolutely. It's been around, I think we were started in the 1960s, and we have more than 240,000 members worldwide.
Wow. And what's it like here in Kansas City?
In Kansas City, so we are in the mid-sized chapters, and we have about 250 members of the chapter here in Kansas City. One of the things I'm most proud of is that we have one of the higher retention rates. About 75% of our members come back every year, and the average for chapters members our size is about 50%. So I feel like people that come be a part of AFP Kansas City see the value in it and they want to stay connected, so they continue to renew every year.
What does a membership cost?
So membership really varies. If you are new to the sector, if you're new to fundraising, you come in at a lower level, you pay less than $100, and you have that access to that membership level for 3 years. And then if you are working for an organization, then it will vary. You could pay, I think it's around $300 right now for a year membership, but oftentimes that gets you into programs for free or at a greatly reduced cost. And there's also a wealth of online resources that you have access to. So one of the things that's really great, I just came back from the AFP Leadership Conference for the International Conference in San Antonio, and one of the things that was really great was there was that they launched 2 new programs that are available for members. So when you pay that $300 fee, one of the things that you have free access to is negotiation training. So whether you're using that for working with volunteer or working with people that you are working with to fundraise from, and you have some negotiation and some back and forth as they're deciding how much to give, whether that's an individual or corporation, you're going to be better at doing that job. Or whether you're negotiating your salary as you're moving from a job to job, all of that negotiation training is free. The other thing that's free from the AFP International, which is brand new, is career coaching. Korn Ferry, which is one of the top recruiting firms in the country, has now a relationship with AFP, and members get access to free career coaching, which is invaluable.
Wow. So if you join the Kansas City chapter, you're automatically part of the national structure?
Automatically a part of the national structure, and you have access to these benefits. There's great chat boards on their website, so there might be a chat board just on special events or a chat board just on Plain Giving, so that if you have a specific question, you can go on there and post a question, and people from all over the country and around the world are going to be there to respond to you and help you get answers.
The class you just mentioned, the Fundraising 101.
Yeah.
Do you have to be a member? Can you pay like a non-member fee if you want to come? If you're just not sure?
Yeah, it's a great way for people who think, hey, I think I want to do fundraising, or maybe I work for a nonprofit and I work in programs, but I'd like to work more on fundraising. It's a great way for you to be introduced to what fundraising is all about and the different types of fundraising you can do. There's such variety in the sector. So it is, as I mentioned when I talked about our membership fees, you always get a discount if you're a member, or you come for free. For Fundraising 101, you get a significant discount if you're a member, but there's always a non-member rate. So everything we do, whether it's a social or a program, one of our Fred Talks, Fred stands for Fundraising Education.
Oh, I love it.
One of those a month. Or Fundraising 101, you always get a discount if you're a member.
And how often do you hold Fundraising 101?
So Fundraising 101 is held once a year.
Oh, darn.
I know. It's every November, November 4th and 5th, but it's an intensive day. It's something that even people from across the region drive to. People from across Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, and Arkansas drive to be a part of Fundraising 101 because it's such a robust 2-day training event. But we do have training that we do year-round. So every February, we do a program called February Focus, where we bring in a national expert. So I know who's coming, but I can't divulge it yet.
Oh.
But let me just tell you, she is going to be wonderful, and it's going to be some incredible training. So that's every February. And then every month we offer one of our Fred Talks. So as an example, coming up on August 21st, we have a session on special events. It's going to be a panel that is led by people that lead some of our community's most just noteworthy and special events are going to be on that panel. It's going to be facilitated by someone who does special event consulting, and she's going to have a tip sheet for you on how to hire someone to help you with your special event.
Can you tell us who's going to be on the panel yet, or is that a secret?
The people on the panel are, it's going to be led by Beth Chapello with Chapello Events, and then we'll also have Susan Belger Angulo, who does the CCVI trolley run, and then we have someone coming from Rockhurst that's going to be talking about their gala dinner as well. So it's going to be a great event. A variety of types of events.
During the day, or is this in the
All
evening?
of these events are in the morning. We start from 8 to 8:30 with networking, and then the programs are usually from 8:30 to 10. We have one of our most popular events coming up in October, and it is our Funders Roundtable. And it is a great opportunity for you as a fundraiser or someone who even is interested in fundraising to meet people that run foundations. It's like there will be 4 panelists, and it's like having 4 meetings in one event. So you'll get to hear from them about what types of projects they fund, what their grant application deadlines are, what kinds of things they're looking for in proposals, what advice they have for people that are asking for money from their foundation. And there's an opportunity to ask questions at the end. And that is always a packed house of almost 100 people that come to listen to those funders talk. So you'll definitely want to go to our website, afpkc.org, and check out under our events, the Funders Roundtable in October.
You guys have incredible programs and activities. What a resource for nonprofits. Listen to this, nonprofits out there, our listeners and our podcast followers. This is a wonderful, and it's here. You don't, now you just traveled for the national,
right?
But it's all right here.
It's all right
so
here.
You're not having to ask, potentially your ED or somebody to say, hey, I got to spend $350 for the airfare and then a hotel.
Right. And the registration fee for those programs. So when you spend $300 on a membership here in Kansas City, you're not having to travel, and you have access to those resources. One of the other great things that is available to our members is a library of webinars. So maybe there's a specific topic that you're looking for that we aren't focused on this year, or maybe there is a credential called the Certified Fundraising Executive, and all of our programs, the hours of that training actually qualify as credits, continuing education credits for maintaining your CFRE or actually working to get your CFRE. You have to prove the number of hours of training you've had. So all of our programs offer those CFRE continuing education credits. But let's say that you need more credits. You can use our webinars, which you can access for free as a member, to help fulfill those requirements. So it's a huge, vast resource, and it's people, one of the popular fundraising experts around the country is a gentleman named Tom Ahern, and he's one of the people that we have a webinar from, and people love to hear from Tom. He's always a wealth of information.
Now, I know you must have a robust staff of at least 10 people to put all this together, right?
We have a robust board of directors of 13 people who are very passionate about fundraising. They've worked in the sector. Some of them are new. Some of them have worked in the sector for a long time, but they care about making sure that we have professional fundraisers in Kansas City that have access to resources and are able to network with one another. And so they work very hard to make sure that AFP is able to be run like an organization with a staff.
Well, I'm looking at your board.
Yeah.
It's very impressive. Is Kansas City unique in this friendly exchange? Or because I've worked in nonprofit, and I always, not in development, but I always thought, oh, you can't give the secret away because you've got to raise money and
right.
And all of that. So,
I think it's kind of a universal attitude among fundraisers, because when I go to the international conference, people are willing to share what's working for them in their organizations and their communities. I do really feel like people that work in fundraising, the work that we're doing is for the greater good. And I think that people recognize that we want to help people however we can. And so if that means that I'm going to go to a lunch with someone, maybe I'm going to help, maybe I'm going to mentor someone who's new to the sector. We have a mentor program as well. Last year we had, I think it was 9 people that went through our mentor program. They were matched. They said, here's what I do at my job. Here's kind of the help that I need. And so then they were matched with someone that had expertise. And then over the course of the year, they meet together routinely. So we're getting ready to be working on that program to provide new matches for that program as well. So if you're interested, in the mentoring program, a way to reach out and let us know that you're interested either in being a mentor or being a mentee and having a mentor, would be to email us, email me at president@afpkc.org.
And you can go on the website. I'm on the website now. You've got all kinds of incredible information and people you can connect with, just all of that. You've been involved for a while with the organization. Yes. How have you seen things change?
Well, I think that one of the things that has changed is, we used to do everything by print. And then there was a time when everybody said, okay, now everything's going to be online. And I think now we're at a place where it's a healthy balance.
Really? That's
we're
interesting.
Identifying that there are still people that want to receive things by print, that there are people that need that reinforcement. They might have received an email, but maybe they don't see it. Mm-hmm. So having something that comes in the mail is important to them as well. So I think the only thing that I've seen that's died is the printed annual report of 30 and 40 pages. I think that has gone away. So, but I think one other thing that is really, special about my time with AFP and the things that I've seen happen is that we do something each year called National Philanthropy Day.
I was going to say we would be remiss if we didn't get into National Philanthropy Day, which is in November.
Great minds think alike. So November 14th is National Philanthropy Day, and it is a day that is set aside where AFP celebrates philanthropy and volunteerism. So we have an award for a philanthropist. We also have a Youth Philanthropist Award, which is an award I'm super excited for us to be able to announce.
That's an
who
inaugural
that winner
award?
is. Yes, it's an inaugural award we give every year to a youth, and it includes a stipend that they receive to use as well for their charity of choice. We also have a Corporate Philanthropist Award that we give, and then we give an Excellence in Fundraising Award. We honor someone who's one of our peers who's done an excellent job of fundraising here in our community. And then we have a new special award this year. This year we are partnering with the Mid-America Charitable Gift Planners. They focus on planned giving or estate giving. And this year we are honoring someone who has given a legacy award that has made an estate gift that's made a difference in our community. So they will all be announced on July 12th. So coming up next week, the announcement will go out about this year's honorees, but there are sponsorship and ticket options available that you'll find on the website as well. And that event will be on November 14th. And it's always a reception at the end of the day, so you can stop by at the end of the day and network, and then also have a great time celebrating these special people.
Well, please let us know who the big winners are. We would love to share that through our social media for these folks that have, are dedicated and working, and you all have, decided let's put a gold star.
Yeah, there's a special committee that comes together. We solicit applications in the spring. So if there's someone in your organization, for those that are listening, that you feel should be honored in one of these categories, sign up for our newsletter. If you go to afpkc.org, you can sign up for the newsletter, and then you'll get the call for announcements each spring. And then we have a special committee of board members, but people from Mid-America Charitable Gift Planners, and then people from the community that review these applications each year and select the winners.
Wow. Organizations, you seem to be trucking along really, really well, but organizations seem to have a challenge or two. What would you say faces your chapter here in Kansas City, and how are you tackling it?
Yeah, so
in 2 minutes.
I think one of the big challenges is just lack of time. People that work for nonprofits oftentimes are wearing many hats, and so they're being asked to do many things, and they're doing it for a really great cause, so they're passionate about it, and they want to do the best job that they can do for their organization, whether I'm a program person or a fundraiser or a volunteer. And so there's just so many challenges on our time, and so I think sometimes people feel that finding the time, like, can I really get away to go to that training, or can I get away for that social? Our next social is coming up this week on July 11th. July 12th. Can I really get away to do that? But I would just challenge people to, to take the time. Take the time, and maybe the time that you spent, that hour and a half that you're away from the office, will save you time from what you've learned later. I think it's a great opportunity. And then don't forget, there's all the online resources. So if you really can't get away, you can go online if you're a member and get access to the webinars and watch something and learn at a time that's convenient for you.
Michelle, you've been fabulous. I hope you'll come back. I think we will love to follow you as National Philanthropy Day comes. And again, it's afpkc.org.
That's it. And we're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Check it out. We'll be back after this.
Inspired by Ewing Marion Kauffman, the Kauffman Foundation believes that every person, regardless of their background, can take risks, achieve success, and give back to their communities. We work together with our Kansas City community and beyond through investments in education and entrepreneurship that create uncommon solutions. By listening first to the communities we serve, we seek to understand the problems and dream big with people to build innovative programs that deliver results. Ewing Kauffman worked hard to make Kansas City a major league city. We strive to continue that legacy today, challenging ourselves and our community to take calculated risks, solve problems, and help empower people to shape their future. Learn more at Kauffman.org.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. And $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted. Which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit SaveTheFood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Inspired by Ewan Marion Kauffman, the Kauffman Foundation believes that every person, regardless of their background, can take risks, achieve success, and give back to their communities. We work together with our Kansas City community and beyond through investments in education and entrepreneurship that create uncommon solutions. By listening first to the communities we serve, we seek to understand the problems and dream big with people to build innovative programs that deliver results. Learn more at Kauffman.org.
Pop quiz, and no texting your friends or asking that hottie over there. Ready? You can get it and not know it. It often has no signs or symptoms. You don't have to do it to get it. Get it? I'm talking about HPV, the human papillomavirus. It infects an estimated 80% of American women in their lifetime. For most, HPV clears on its own. But for others who don't clear certain types, cervical cancer can develop. Learn the facts. Talk to your doctor. A public service of the Gynecologic Cancer Foundation with support from Merck.
I'm Howie Mandel. Did you know attention deficit hyperactivity disorder in adults is a real and treatable medical disorder? I know because I am one of the estimated 10 million adults in the U.S. who have ADHD. The symptoms of ADHD, inattention, hyperactivity, and impulsivity make it difficult to pay attention and focus, be organized, complete tasks, and maintain relationships. I've been diagnosed with ADHD. In my life, I've often misplaced things and have found it difficult to sit down and read a script for work or even have a conversation. You know, the kind when you're actually listening without interrupting. It's never too late for adults to seek help for ADHD and find the right treatment plan. Get information at adultadhdisreal.com and take an ADHD self-screener. Talk to your doctor. The right treatment plan can help control your symptoms so you can stay focused and organized, get things done at home and work, and help improve relationships. Visit adultadhdisreal.com to learn more about adult ADHD. Don't let ADHD prevent you from achieving your goals. I haven't.
Welcome back to Casey Cares, Kansas City's non-profit voice, helping organizations survive and thrive. Well, Kansas City is going to be the place of theatrical action. It is time for the Kansas City Fringe Festival. And Cheryl Kimmey, who is the queen of the festival, the woman in the know, on the go. I can't believe we got you in the studio because it's crazy time.
I wouldn't miss this. Thank you for having me, Ruth.
Oh, well, Fringe, 15th year.
I know. How did
that happen?
I'm not sure. I have no idea.
Well, in case there is somebody who has no idea what we're talking about, no, it is not the fringe on a vest.
And it is not French. It is Fringe. F-R-I-N-G-E. Real fast update. This started back in 1947 in Edinburgh, Scotland. And the Fringe movement has moved across the entire world. There are Fringe festivals everywhere. And Kansas City's, this will be our 15th year.
Define Fringe. What does that mean, especially to somebody who may not be familiar with the performing arts?
Fringe is an open access vehicle for all artists. In Kansas City, we provide a space for any performing or visual artist that wants to share their work. Music, dance, theater, film, visual arts, anything and everything that they want to share. And it's mostly new works. So these are our emerging artists. They're also established artists that are creating their own works.
And take us back a little bit to those 15 years ago. What was the first festival like? Who was involved? How did you pull it off?
Oh, we did it by the seat of our pants.
That's the theater in some ways.
It is. But I mean, this was the 3 days back to back, and we made it happen, and it was awesome, and has continued to grow every year since. We're now 2 full weeks, the 14th through the 28th this month. So if you haven't been, the best way to figure out what Fringe is to come to one of our previews or teasers. We just did a teaser last night at Monticello Library in Shawnee. Next Tuesday, we'll do a preview at Johnson County Central Resource Library at 6:00. That's on the 9th. And then Casey Moe Central Library on Wednesday the 10th. And then for a full immersion, Tuesday and Thursday, the 16th and 17th of August, we have our teaser nights at Extreme Screen in Union Station. The artists will be doing 2-minute teasers of their shows.
Oh my gosh, that's not much time.
Oh no, but it gives you an idea of, is this something that I am interested in or not? Because everybody has different interests, and there is something for everybody. There's family fare and mature audience fare. So I say, look at the ratings, and it's equally divided between all ages, parental guidance, and mature audiences.
Wow. So how did you get to Fringe? Was there a life before Fringe, Cheryl?
It's hard to remember it, but yes, there was. But I was an undergraduate music major, so I've always been involved with the arts in some manner. And all of my theater friends kept saying, well, Kansas City needs a Fringe festival. I'm like, well, why doesn't somebody do it? Mm-hmm. Because I saw all of our young artists, especially, leaving town. Mm-hmm. They were going to Chicago, L.A., New York, because there wasn't anywhere here for them to produce. And the Fringe provides that opportunity. It is the most inexpensive way an artist can get a show off the ground. And we try to educate them as we go. We guide them on best practices. We guide them on how to market. We set deadlines and rules and help them learn how to treat their art as a business. Because if they want to make a living, they need to treat it as a business. And that's what it is. It's a creative business. And theater companies started developing, and new theater started emerging, and we have people staying, and we have people coming back to Kansas City because they can produce here. And our creative subculture is just exploding, and it's wonderful to see.
Enormous in Kansas City from what it was even 20 years ago.
Exactly.
So if an artist has been working on something, what's the process that they go through if they want to be part of Fringe in Kansas City?
Well, we take them. It's a lengthy process. For those who might be interested next year, December 1st, applications will go live on our website, kcfringe.org. And then we will accept applications through February 15th, but it's first come, first serve. So if you want to do it, you need to get your act together and get it in there, because once we hit our capacity, everybody else rolls to a waiting list. And if there's vacancies that occur, because some people will get, a paid gig for the summer or have another opportunity, and so there's windows for that. But then we take your hand and we hold your hand and talk to you about what to do next. Let's evaluate your show. Let's define what your show is. What are your technical needs? What are your casting needs? We have a partner with hosting auditions for actors and provide an opportunity for actors to be in Fringe shows.
Ooh, I missed that one, darn. When does that usually occur?
Actors Training Studio hosts that for us. They're a partner with us in that, and people would always be calling me saying, I want to be in a Fringe show. And it's the individual artists that put their own shows together. And so Andy Garrison at Actors Training Studio said, Cheryl, have you ever thought about auditions? I said, oh, yes, but we don't have capacity. And he said, let me help. And
How
it's
great.
Wonderful. And it's great opportunity for everybody involved. So now we're doing some financial training workshops to teach the artists how to handle their expenses and how to track those for tax purposes.
So if your work is accepted, you're kind of footing the bill yourself. Is that true?
Well, it's for a very nominal fee to enter, because
there's an entry fee.
They need to be, yes, they need to be invested, so they don't get to the last minute and go, oh, sorry, can't do this. Well, they have to. If they have skin in the game, as I like to say, then they're most likely to follow through. And so, for anywhere from $300 to $600, depending on what size of venue, we provide the venue. We provide all of the tech, and it's not extensive tech. It's basic lights and sound, and the tech to run it, technician to run it. We provide all the front of house, all the ticket sales, all the ushering. We have an army of volunteers that handle all the front of house. And then we promote the festival overall, but then we teach them how to promote their show to get butts and seats at their show. So we do the overview, and each year then we try to add more pieces to get more details and more education to them.
You'll have 100+ performances over the course?
Actually, there will. Oh, hold on. There are. I can't do the math in my head. 76 different performing groups, and each do 5 shows. Ruth, you got
5 shows now.
They each do 5 shows. What's our number here? I see her writing.
I'm not. I'm not doing the math.
She's not doing that. Okay.
But how great that it was 5 shows. I was fortunate several years ago to be in a little play, and I think we had like 2 performances.
We used to have options, and in organizing and streamlining, we've added best of. So the final, and I need to talk about all of that. So on the final Sunday of the festival, there's 1 show in each venue, but I have to back up and talk about this is in multiple locations. For those who've never been, we have 14 different performing venues.
Wow.
With 5 to 7 groups in each of those venues. So, and there are 5 opportunities throughout the run of the festival to see any one of those shows. We also have 2 visual arts venues. We have a teen venue and a youth venue. And then we have our late night space in Haverty Yards behind Union Station. So there's tons of things to do.
I would say that it sounds like you've covered the entire spectrum. Do you have an awards system that's built into it, or is it the award or the reward of just being part of it?
Multiple things. So up to this point in time, the awards have been the final Sunday. The show that has the best attendance in each venue gets a bonus show the final Sunday. So that's called the Best of Fringe. And sometimes we can make that call in advance and announce who's going to win if there's a runaway. Usually it's down to 2, sometimes 3 groups, and it literally is midnight on Saturday night, the 27th.
That you find out.
That you find out. But people know if they're in the running, so the actors know to be on tap in case they get the show, and it's kind of fun. It's a fun competition between the groups in each venue. We're adding another. We have 2 prizes. This is the second year for Johnson County Libraries. Johnson County Libraries selects their best of choice and presents it in August at Central Resource Library, and there's a stipend prize for that.
Wow.
And this year, Theater League.
Big.
Oh, it is. And then this year, Theater League is adding a prize for the best original play. So we have a crew of selected judges who have the criteria that have been laid out, that will be seeing all of the shows that fall within that criteria, and they will be announced on the final Sunday at our closing party, and there will be a cash gift for that group.
So how much does it cost to be involved and see all these shows? The $350 ticket price like for Hamilton, or?
Oh, no, it's $10. Okay. 2 parts. You buy your fringe button. Your fringe button is $5. It's kind of your cover charge. It helps us defray our advertising costs. So you get your fringe button, and you need that button for every show that you go to. So you can go to, 1 or 35 shows. We have folks who are fringe fanatics who take vacation time to go to as many shows as they can.
I think that's marvelous.
And I love to see, we always ask how many people have seen, and I think last year the most was 36.
And
that's
you have a lot of performing art to see.
That is a lot. But it's a once a year life opportunity to do that. And there's a little bit of everything. So you buy your tickets. The tickets are $10 for each show. And the venues and the artists get the ticket sales. Then for those who want to explore, the best deal is to get our punch card. So our home base is Union Station. So our primary visual arts exhibit is in Grand Hall there in the main floor of Union
that's a great
Station.
space.
It's beautiful. And then we have our information center there with the visual arts. So people can get their buttons, can ask questions, can buy merchandise, and can get their punch cards. So punch cards are a $100 value that we sell for $90. So in essence, they're getting one show free. And you can share it with others, buy your buttons with it. I mean, there's any combination of things that you can do with that punch card, but that's the best value to take advantage of. That you can only get at Union Station. But if you're buying tickets for single shows, you can do that online, and those are available now at kcfringe.org. You can buy them at Union Station. Some people are not comfortable buying their tickets online, so we provide the space at Union Station. Or at each venue, half an hour before every show, the box office opens, and you can buy tickets for that show.
So on site, you can just say, hey,
correct.
I'm going to go see that show.
And go and drop and go.
Can you buy your button there as well?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so you've got it covered.
We try to.
You've got it covered. This is massive.
There are a lot of moving parts. But and each year we add more
moving parts
and refine more. And the only constant, in my opinion, is change. So it's always looking to see how we can improve and make things better for our artists and for our audiences.
How big a staff do you have that pulls this off?
I'm the only full-time person.
So how do you do it? On your website, there are a few other faces, though, that I see. So tell me about that.
So I have a part-time office manager, a part-time project manager, a volunteer bookkeeper, a retired a retired CFO. We have an army of volunteers. And then we have summer staff. So our technicians that run the light and sound, those people get stipended, and so they're on for the 2 weeks during Fringe. Of course, there's planning time leading up to that. But then our volunteer base, all of our front of house and our gallery guides are all volunteers, and it's our Fringe family. We have folks who have been volunteering with us since year one.
That's amazing.
We haven't run them off yet.
That's great. Well, and every year things are changing and moving and shaking. I know that you've had success with some folks who've premiered works. For example, friends of mine have done Overture the Musical, and they're going to be in the big New York
Musical Theater Festival.
So that's really cool for them. But it all started here, and they've grown. What would you say is a definite don't miss necessary thing for Fringe?
Oh my goodness, that is a tough question, and because
the book.
The program. Book. Thank you. The program, and the programs are out. Thank you for bailing me out on that one, Ruth. Because
that's okay.
There's everybody considers different things great. And so I invite you to come out and explore and push your boundaries. Try something that you normally wouldn't see. But back to the booklet, to our program, you can pick programs up at any of the venues, at Union Station, at the information booth, at coffee shops all around town. Call us, and if you want to find some place close to you, we have a list of where programs have been dropped, and we can say, okay, in this area you have here, 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 and here. So just reach out to, can I give a phone number?
Absolutely.
816-359-9195 for information, or email info at kcfringe.org.
Or check out kcfringe.org. It's got all kinds of helpful information. It's Kansas City's, or the KC Fringe Festival, July 14th through the 28th. Get out of your comfort zone. Go see some of these fabulous performers and artists. Treat yourself. Get out and about and see what Cheryl Kimmey does all year, pulling out her hair. No, she doesn't pull out her hair, but with a whole lot of other folks who are committed to growing and expressing the arts in Kansas City. Thanks, Cheryl. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Inspired by Ewing Marion Kaufman, the Kaufman Foundation believes that every person, regardless of their background, can take risks, achieve success, and give back to their communities. We work together with our Kansas City community and beyond through investments in education and entrepreneurship that create uncommon solutions. By listening first to the communities we serve, we seek to understand the problems and dream big with people to build innovative programs that deliver results. Ewing Kauffman worked hard to make Kansas City a major league city. We strive to continue that legacy today, challenging ourselves and our community to take calculated risks, solve problems, and help empower people to shape their future. Learn more at Kauffman.org.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
I'm Rashida Ali Walsh, author and daughter of Muhammad Ali. My dad knows that people affected by Parkinson's disease can have meaningful and productive lives. Guidelines from the American Academy of Neurology help neurologists make early, accurate diagnoses and optimize proven and effective therapies, track how quickly the disease may progress, and tailor treatment accordingly. Believe me, early diagnosis, proper treatment, and regular contact with a neurologist can help patients improve and maintain a good quality of life. Visit AAN.com.
Inspired by Ewan Marion Kauffman, the Kauffman Foundation believes that every person, regardless of their background, can take risks, achieve success, and give back to their communities. We work together with our Kansas City community and beyond through investments in education and entrepreneurship that create uncommon solutions. By listening first to the communities we serve, we seek to understand the problems and dream big with people to build innovative programs that deliver results. Learn more at Kauffman.org.
Hi, my name's Bob.
Hi, Bob.
So I see this ad on TV. It says I can reduce my debt by 50%. So I call. They told me to stop paying my bills, stop talking to my creditors. It didn't seem right, but they said they'd take care of everything.
I gave them thousands of dollars, but most of it went to their fees.
Getting out of debt is neither quick nor easy. There are those who will tell you anything just to win your trust.
It sounded perfect. I did everything they told me to do.
They never paid my creditors. They didn't even contact them.
Turns out I'm even more in debt because the fees and the interest on my cards kept piling up.
Bad advice from so-called experts can make your financial situation worse.
And the bank turned me down for a mortgage. And that's when I realized my credit was shot.
I should have gone straight to my creditors to begin with.
There is a better way to get help. Talk to your creditors directly, or to find a nonprofit agency near you, visit debtadvice.org. Debtadvice.org. Real solutions for real people. This has been a public service message.
We all know Goodwill. But did you know when you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Casey Cares, Kansas City's window on the nonprofit community and the people they serve. I'm Ruth Baum-Biggis. Recently, Kansas City was blessed with having one of its own come back in town, and that is the legendary Ed Asner. At the young age of 89, Ed is still doing theater, making audiences laugh, chuckle, being a curmudgeon at times, and he was here at the White Theater of the Jewish Community Center doing a one-man show, A Man and His Prostate. Ed has been robust in both stage, television, film. He's been a leader in the Screen Actors Guild. He's been unspoken on a variety of issues over the years, but he has a big heart. And we had a chance to sit down with him and talk a little bit about those philanthropic activities.
So, Ed Asner, you're back in Kansas City causing trouble again.
Yeah.
What brought you back?
7-year itch.
Plus, a chance to do a show.
Oh, yeah. I'll always do a show. Wherever I am. If I was a tap dancer, I'd break into tune. But I'm not.
Well, we'll impose that there. So I follow some of your activities on Instagram and social media. You are one busy guy at the young age of 89 now?
Mm-hmm. 90 in November.
Happy birthday. You have to come back for a big bash.
Well, we're going to have a big bash, but it should be in L.A.
We'll come.
No, you're invited.
You just had a huge poker tournament for the Ed Asner Family Center. Tell us a little bit about the center.
Well, it was generated by my son and his wife, Nava. My son, Matthew. And I have an autistic son. Matthew has an autistic son. And he married a lady with, is it 2 or 3 kids? 2? They're high on the spectrum. But autism is around about all of us. And my son has done a great deal of work to exposing the incidence of autism. So when we started out, it was in the thousands. Now it's like 150 something. And it's a center designed to service the needs of autistic kids and to help their families at the same time by special needs instruction, special provision for easing their fears and their doubts and their concerns. And I think it's a great idea, and I'm proud of it.
How has it been to be a parent of an autistic child? How did you manage? You're a star, you're a celebrity, all those things, but you're a dad and a parent.
Well, I was in the Search and Destroy episode of autism, whereby I'd never heard of it when the announcement was made that he was autistic. And you just keep getting amazed all the time with the brilliance of an autistic kid, and at the same time the hang-ups that occur. The most noteworthy incident I can talk about it, he was, 9 or 10, I don't know. He was in the passenger seat of my car. A cop pulled me over. While I roll the window down and wait for the cop to show up, he's over in the passenger seat. And as the cop approaches the open window, Charlie, my son, leans over me and says, "Do you know who you're talking to?" And I went, and I cringed and tried to explain to the cop. And of course, that's one of the big jobs for autistic parents, getting law enforcement to realize that this is not an ordinary specimen they're dealing with.
Has there been much progress made since those days when your son was 8 or 9 to now? Fast forward with Matt has a child dealing with this.
Has there been much progress?
In how
discovery is the primary aspect of what we found. We don't know what causes it. Various surmises are made as to what creates it, what causes it. And it could be different causes each time, a different aspect. Was it in the womb? Was it since the womb? I don't know. Nobody knows, I don't think. But society must deal with this problem. Must learn how to handle it, how to babysit it, more or less, and to march forward as a stronger society than we had before. And looking at our society now, anything would make it stronger.
I'm so glad you are not shy about your opinions.
Well, what do you want to know about?
Well, I want to know what it's like to be a star over a number of decades and stand up for causes like autism and knocking at stigma and creating things for families to deal with that given situation in a positive way. Not everybody stands up. Why do you?
You notice the long pause?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I don't have an answer. Why me? I like to think out that when I see injustice, I can comment on it and reflect on it and pronounce on it. And hopefully others will agree with me. And perhaps a mass march by society will be made to improve things. My previous loudmouth exposure was as an actor on Central America. And things changed there. Things improved there somewhat, at least the recognition. And I would hopefully be able to speak out wherever I see injustice and say why.
Was this something that was modeled for you when you were growing up here in Kansas City? Something you saw your parents do?
My parents were very fair people, just people. They did not carry within them a mean core of prejudice. They were uneducated. They were Jews, and Jews at the time said, is it good for the Jews or is it not good for the Jews? And that was the basis of understanding. But in my father's dealings with minorities, I never saw him exhibit prejudice. He demanded a fair deal and gave a fair deal. And I guess it sank in.
So it's genetic, huh? That's what we can... Or is it Midwest nice? That's the other thing we sometimes hear. You've got a little bit of that in you.
When I'm asked about Kansas City, I always refer to it as a gentle place to grow up. We had prejudice. We were segregated at Wyandotte High until, late 40s? But it lacked the fire and brimstone that the coasts reflected. It was tempered somewhat.
Well, autism isn't the only thing that through your career in your life that you've stood up and given voice. Can you share with us some of the other causes that you've been involved? Well,
tell me.
I believe you were involved sometimes with Heart Association. I know you were there.
That's
Defenders of Wildlife.
That's polio, heart. cancer, but people come along and they ask you to say something nice, and you're happy to say something nice. And you end up looking good over it. Fine, that's good. Forget it. That's part of the taxation.
Well,
it's a pleasure to do it because, you know, I'm not out there finding cures for cancer, but I'm glad to call attention to it.
A little birdie whispered in my ear that there's a wildlife organization, Feathers of Wildlife. Tell me a little bit about that. I'm not familiar with it.
I love life. I love this. I must be controversial here and say that the exploration to the moon, etc., that revealed Earth as the blue planet and so forth and so on, I love that whole aspect. And I feel man has been the despoiler of what we've lost on this earth. His killing, his rapaciousness, his fur trading, his skinning, his capturing, his selling, so that I want this planet preserved with all of its wondrous, wild things other than man. And if man has to be gotten rid of, I'm all for it. As long as we keep the planet blue and we keep species alive.
Has that been a later in life kind of passion?
I think I always felt that way. There was no, what is the phrase in quoting scripture, a revelation on the way to, I think it's New Testament. One of the saints had
on the road to Emmaus.
Huh?
The road to Emmaus. The road to Emmaus.
Emmaus. That's it. Nothing like that. It just gradually, I love life, and I realize that the wild animals that we try to protect through Defenders of Wildlife don't understand what killing means to them or to us. It's part of their existence, part of their subsistence. So ours is try to keep the balance of nature going so that everything lives within limits. You, me, and the animals.
You are now the top of the generation in your family at 89 years young.
What do they know?
You have kids, you have grandkids. What would you say to them in terms of being involved in causes that help mankind, animal kind?
It's good for you. It's really good. If you save one life, be it animal or man, then if there's a God, you've won credit to God.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to KC Cares, Kansas City's nonprofit digital resource, produced by Charitable Communications, a 501c3 nonprofit organization. KC Cares is generously underwritten by the Mewing Marion Kaufman Foundation. KC Cares podcasts are available at kccaresonline.org. If you'd like to be a guest on KC Cares or for underwriting opportunities, please check out our website and spread the love and find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Cares Online. Thank you for listening to Casey Cares on ESPN 1510 AM and 94.5 FM.
I've been looking for the map that leads me home.
ESPN Kansas City is KCTE Independence and K233DM Raytown, 1510 AM, 94.5 FM.